Hi everyone, in today's lesson you will learn what an integer is and where we see integers in the real world. You have been successful today if you can identify an integer and work with integers in real life problems. So let's start looking at negative numbers in context. So what is an integer? Well, the set of positive and negative whole numbers along with 0 are called the set of integers. So let's look at what is an integer and what is not an integer. So let's start with negative 1. Negative 1 is just a negative whole number, so that is an integer. 0 is a whole number, that is also an integer. 3.78 is not a whole number, so that's not an integer. 10 is a positive whole number, that is an integer. 0.5 is a decimal, that is not an integer. Negative 1,300 is a whole number, so that is an integer. Negative 1.5 has a fraction, so that can't be an integer. And 1 million is just a positive whole number, so that is an integer. Okay, so let's have a look at reading scales. So what temperature is shown on the thermometer? It's first important to say what our scale is. So between 0 and 5, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps. 5 degrees has been split into 5 segments, which tells me that each gap represents 1 degree. So this here must be 3 degrees Celsius. In example 2, something has changed here. So between 0 and 10, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps. So 10 degrees has been split into 5 gaps, which tells me this time each segment represents 2 degrees. So this is 10 degrees here. This must be 12, 14, 16, 18 degrees Celsius. Let's have a look at bank balances. So many people come across negative numbers in their bank accounts. We say that money is overdrawn if it is not your money, it is money you owe back to the bank. So overdrawn is you have spent more money than what you have in your bank. Now you owe the bank money, and this will appear as a negative number on your statement. So here we have a bank statement for Mr. T. Jones. The balance is plus £72. So what does this mean? Well, this means on the 3rd of January, Mr. T. Jones had £72 in his bank account. Example 2, we can see the balance is shown here as a negative number, negative £55. So this means that on the 12th of May, Mr. Biggs was overdrawn by £55. Example 3, Jane's bank balance shows as negative £20. She pays in £45. What is Jane's bank balance now? So currently it's negative £20 and she adds £45 to this. So what happens with the £45? Well, 20 of that goes to paying off what she owes the bank. So what has she got left over in her bank? She has £25 more. So our bank balance now would be plus £25. Another place that we see negative numbers in real life is time. Negative numbers can be used to show time either BC or AD, okay? So BC stands for before Christ, AD stands for Anno Domini, and that is Latin. Anything in BC terms is negative time and anything AD is positive time. So currently we live in the year 2020 AD, so that would be plus 2020. Anything that happened BC, for instance, dinosaurs, Romans, whatever year that happened in, that would be considered a negative year, okay? And then we have the year 0, and anything after the year 0 is a positive number. Okay, so let's use this timeline to help us. Augustus Caesar was born 63 BC. So this would be negative 63. This would be BC time over here, negative 63. He died in 19 AD. So 19 would be in AD time, which is over here. What age was Augustus when he died? So let's think about how many years Augustus lived up until the year 0. So if he was born in -63, he must have lived 63 years up until the year 0. Then from the year 0 to the year 19, he must have lived another 19 years, which tells me that he was 82 years old when he died.